from the Naylor House Studios in the heart of the 254. It's time for Connecting the Dots. Here's your host, Jeff Sanford.
It's a great day in Stephenville, Texas, and always made greater by the guests we have on Connecting the Dots. Today is a very special guest. As always, we have special guests, but today is interesting because we're going a little bit different. We're going with a world champion, in fact, 18-time world champion, JJ Hampton. And when we say world champion, what in? Well, if you don't know by now, she is a rodeo queen, but also National Cowgirl Hall of Fame, recent inductee. Wow, that's pretty special. First of all, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. When you got inducted into National Cowgirl Hall of Fame and you gave your speech in November, that was one thing. But what was it like getting the call to say you indeed, JJ Hampton, are going to be among these elite women?
Well, when she first said she was calling, and then she tells me I was in a vehicle. I'll never forget it. And I said, "Are you kidding me? Like, no way is this happening. If we do, I need to hang up and call you back, make sure it's you." And she laughed and said, "No, JJ, it's your time. You're getting in." She goes, "And I wanted to call you myself, and you were the first one that got called." And I kind of teared up because what an honor to be with this great sisterhood of women that I've been going to the induction with Sherry Mel for years. And all her friends, I think, really pushed for me to get in. A lot of them wrote letters. They had a big campaign to get me in because I'd been nominated several years earlier. And it's surreal, really, to think that for the rest of eternity, rest of our lives and my families, that Kaysen's kids, Kaysen's grandkids, my name will be etched in the Hall of Fame, and he can go talk about his mom and just how hard she worked, and for them to see that things are achievable and attainable if you work hard to get it.
Yeah, well, certainly earned. Wasn't just given to you. 18-time world champion, 25 national titles. You're in a bunch of other Hall of Fames as well. Tarleton State Rodeo Hall of Fame, Texas Rodeo Cowboys Hall of Fame, Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame, United Professional Rodeo Hall of Fame, and Cowboy Capital Hall of Fame, probably many others to come, if not already some that I missed. Who was your first call when you got the call?
My husband, Ricky. I called him, and he was very excited. He's very emotional. He started crying, and then I called my mom, and then I called my nephew and just kind of told him keep the date, done. But for my family, it's a huge honor.
Yeah.
We don't really brag on each other because we kind of expect to be, the best and do whatever, and nor do I want to be. I'm JJ, and I'm doing what I love to do, and I just give it my all. And it just was really cool for my family and my Uncle RJ to be there with me, just because all the years of the struggles and the toughness and what it took to be a world champion. And they saw me start roping. They saw me miss all those calves. They saw my dad say, "I don't think she'll ever catch a calf." And then for me to rise up and, my pawpaw, my dad, and Big Marty were watching, from above. But it was a true honor for my whole family and all the sacrifices that every one of us made for me to be able to do that.
Well, again, well earned, and you put Stephenville on the map as you have for decades now as a champion, and we're so glad to be able to have this conversation with you today.
Oh, it's so cool because the whole there's a ton of the city of Stephenville, Tarleton State came. I mean, the crowd was packed with people in our community. I don't even know how they tell people because I'm just JJ. I'm out here doing JJ things, and to think that you get honored for loving a sport and that God would, He allowed me to be successful at it is pretty surreal. And I love all those titles. And when they announce it, it's almost like, I cannot believe I did all this. But then I think, it's a blessing. But also to me with it, my husband says, you're given a voice, a loud one, and you need to go speak to people and tell them about it to try to help somebody else to be good. And I do that now. I go speak to a lot of youth rodeo things, and you try to use this. I did win them. My family helped me win it, but this is something, glory to God for the blessing, and for me to go share. Winning those gave me the opportunity to do things like this, where I can share my voice with people, and if people are in need, help them, because I do have a voice. And that's what I truly honor about the whole situation, that I have a voice that it means something to people and they listen.
Yeah, well, people do listen, and they have for quite a while because you got started early, but along the way, 25 national titles, 18 world titles. We're going to get to some of those in a little bit. But your first rodeo was at 4 years old.
Yeah, I have always been tenacious and a little bit ornery, a lot hard-headed, and I bugged my dad to let me enter this rodeo, and he wouldn't the whole way over there, and finally he did. I didn't win, but it started my career because I was very persistent in what I knew I was going to do. Some people maybe don't know, but I knew I was going to be a cowgirl. I knew 100%. I didn't really know the world titles and all that, but I knew I was going to rodeo, and I knew I was going to work hard at it, and I knew I was going to be the best that I could possibly be because I was not scared. I didn't mind putting in the work, and it's who I am and what I did.
Yeah. Well, your dad was a rodeo guy
Yes.
as well, so I'm sure that was part of the lifestyle, the life that you guys were living at the time.
Oh, yes. My dad was the one that taught me the love for rodeo. He rodeoed, and Roy and Bill Duval, all the Bulldoggers would be at our house, and I learned at an early age to haze for them and then participated and just was a part of, the culture of rodeo and how the friendships evolve and how you become family with these people and how no matter where you're at, you can make a phone call and somebody's going to come help you because our rodeo family the roots run deep, and it's very special to be a part of that.
Yeah, you're born and raised here in Stephenville.
Born and raised, love Stephenville. No place I'd rather be. I told my husband I will never leave here, no matter what, I guess, unless casing. I shouldn't say that, but this is my home. I love Stephenville. I love representing Stephenville, and I love being a part of this community.
Well, you've been here a bit. You wanted to, you went to Stephenville High School. So go Yellow Jackets.
Go Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and
honeybees.
Yeah,
And
you were a
honeybees,
honeybee,
yes.
I
I was a honeybee, yes.
Now, what'd you do in high school? Did you, what was
Well,
your
high
life
school
like?
rodeoed, and I did play basketball. I did not end up playing my senior year, and I sort of regret that now because I was tenacious at basketball too. But, rodeo, sometimes it's hard to do both of these. And when you want to practice after school, you're in basketball and stuff. So, the path I went on with rodeo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were there a lot of rodeos around here, or were you already traveling a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Mainly at that time I was going to high school rodeos, and then the amateurs, the UPRA and LRCA, we started going to those when I was in college.
Yeah. Speaking of college, went to Tarleton State University.
Yes, I did.
Criminal justice?
Yes, I was
How'd
actually.
you choose that?
Well, I was going to go to law school.
Yeah.
And honestly, people have heard this, but I went to take the LSAT. My cousin Heather went with me. And I took tests very well. I just was it didn't bother me. Never really get nervous, no matter what I'm doing. I just bear down. And I didn't do good on the test, so I didn't get in. I only applied to a couple of schools, and so my life, God sent me back to rodeo on that path. And now 18 world titles later, all these Hall of Fames. Thank God I didn't get in law school.
Exactly.
Glory to God for that blessing. I mean, I guess I could still go, but God puts you where you're supposed to be, and I was supposed to win those world titles so I could use my voice to help others, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, you are undeniably one of the primary female, but not only female, I think you are one of the primary names in the most well-known name in rodeo, period. I think people just know who you are. I know from a fact I go and travel across the nation when we're doing things for economic development. And I'll mention rodeo because people know we're the cowboy capital of the world.
Yeah.
And your name comes up time and time again.
Well, I've been lucky. I make friends everywhere I go. I talk to people because, the most valuable thing we have to give others is our time. And I try to give that to people no matter where I go. And the rodeo committee's there. I talk to all them. I think I try to represent our city well and be the best human being I could be, because honestly, at the end of the day, they don't care if I win in that arena. They care how I made them feel, how I included them in rodeo, and that's what I try to do. Yeah, I want to win, but at the end of the day, being a better human is more important than winning a world title or doing whatever. And I love the people of rodeo. I love people in general, and I like to include them in my life. And if I can help one person by saying something positive or just, saying hi to them and smiling at them, then I've done what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, you mentioned earlier the Duvals. You've had other people in your life that have been influences on you. Talk a little bit about how they became influences and the part of your life and culture that included people both in and out of the rodeo world.
Well, when you're practicing all the time with Roy and Bill Duval, they were big, strong men with big voices, and Roy Duval was a leader. I mean, he could rally his troops like nobody's business because he stood up for what was right, and the people followed him. I just grew up watching these strong men and women. Connie Combs was one of my heroes, barrel racing. And you just, back then, people's voice and how they carried themselves and how they were all strong to me. I'm a little kid, and they just seemed so stout and so strong in everything they did. And that culture, how good of friends we all were, and wherever we went, we were like this group together. And my dad had a very good name. He had a lot of good friends in rodeo, and I just kind of stepped into his tracks. So people that loved my dad loved me and didn't even know me. And that's what I tell my son. I'm nice to these people not because I want something from them, because that's the kind of human we are. And then this is going to lead for you a path because they know you're my son, and you're going to have chances that you wouldn't normally got because the path was laid by our family, and rodeo families tend to do that. And I love that heritage about it. I mean, I don't know other sports as much, but I do know in rodeo that it matters a lot being nice to judges. It matters a lot being nice to secretaries. It matters a lot to me being nice to the people who untie your calves, because you could be somewhere broke down and they see your post on Facebook or somebody calls them and they're going to send help. I've been stranded on the side of the road numerous times, and I've always had somebody there really quick saving me and rescuing me, because kindness matters.
Yeah, kindness does matter. And you are a kind person. I've just, I like listening to you. Usually I try to set up the next question with something, and I just like listening instead.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah.
But, you've in your 18 world titles, and this all since 1994, so it spans a little bit of time, all around cowgirl, tie down, calf roping, breakaway calf roping, team roping, header. Do any of those kind of stand out as the thing that you lean into more? Is there an event that you like more than something else?
I love breakaway,
okay,
but I will say that the world titles in tie down mean more to me for the fact that my brother-in-law, Big Marty Yates, who is my nephew's dad that he never got to meet, got me into calf roping, and it was very hard. And he told me, he goes, I'm going to have the next world champion. And he passed away, and then I won it. And he did have the world champion. So to me, those meant a lot, because that's a hard sport. You watch these guys do it and they just flawlessly make these runs and it's so easy. Well, we roped huge calves. And for me to be able to, rise to that and get these calves down and be tenacious and stay hooked with all these other women was pretty cool to me. And that meant a lot to me to honor what he had hoped for me. He saw it. He knew it was going to happen. And sometimes I didn't, but Marty knew. And those mean a lot to me. Now, the breakaway roping is my love. I love to breakaway rope. It's my favorite sport. It has grown leaps and bounds, and I was a part of that growth because I've been doing it a long time, me and my friend Jamie Markham. But it's so cool to see where it started. And then 20 years later, I won another world title, which is pretty insane to be able to stay competitive for that long and still do good and do that. So I'm lucky. God bless me, man. He put me on stages so that I could let his light shine through me, and it's been awesome. And I love breakaway roping, and I just love. A girl this weekend won over $700,000 at the American.
Isn't that cool?
It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's Ricky Fanning. She did awesome. It's
that is so cool.
It is cool. So girls have a chance now to win incredible amounts of money, and I was a part of that growth and journey, and I'm so thankful for that.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, trailblazer for sure. Bobby Knight, former basketball coach, once said, "The will to prepare to win should be greater than the will to win." You don't just show up at these events and do something. Tell me about your training. Tell me about your preparation.
I would rope every day. I was actually better at goat tying growing up, but I worked hard at that. And I tied the goat, I tied 200 times a day. And then I would rope. I mean, we roped every day, almost all day. I roped with my brother and team roped and then breakaway roping. But you have to put the time in. Some people are naturally talented and it's easy, but they always said I might not have been as talented as everybody else, but I would outwork them because they couldn't outwork me. I had no quit. I had a big heart. I kept trying, and I never gave up, and that's how I became a world champion. And for others out there, I tell them, run your own race because your time is different. My time was different. I didn't win, high school championships or any of that. I did make it to nationals. I didn't win a college title, but look at me. If I would have given up because I thought I should have won that, I would not be an 18-time world champion. So you can't drudge the path that you're on of success early on. If it doesn't work, you got to keep striving because you can achieve it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yes.
You must have a system in place. You must have one of these things where in the morning I do this, and then I do this, and then I get. You must have a routine, I guess. Do you have any superstitions?
Well, I don't put my hat on the bed.
Yeah.
I used to never wear yellow, which I wear yellow now, and I'm kind of wondering why I didn't. And I didn't carry $50 bills. So those are kind of, my thing. It's so funny. Back in the day, my thing was I roped with a new pair of socks on. So I had thousands of socks. But I liked my feet to feel, I don't know, it just was something mentally that helped me, and I did it, and I stuck with it.
That's actually kind of interesting, because a lot of people, I played a lot of baseball, and a lot of us, if we did something good in our socks, we didn't change socks. We didn't wash them. We didn't do anything. That was it.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all something. If I'm not doing good, I will change everything. Underwear, whatever it is, I'm changing it because I'm going to win. And it sometimes it is your rope. Sometimes it isn't. But just the mental thought of changing it gets you over the hump to be back where you're supposed to be. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
You just figure it out through, your own mind. But probably one of the things like winning all this that I was best at, if I messed up, I forgot about it and was ready for the next run. And even if I messed up again, I let it go and didn't worry about it, because what good does it do to just watch it run you messed up? I'll watch them one time, see what I did wrong, and out it goes. And then I'm ready to barrel back at the next one. And that mental toughness I had was the secret to my success.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're speaking with JJ Hampton, 18-time world champion, and also known for her purple hat. You wear and have worn this purple felt hat over and over and over. Tell us about the origin of that and sort of what it means to you.
I don't really remember how we kind of started this, but James Andre at Capital Hatters, I said, I kind of got a couple of, like I got a gray and I got a maroon, and he put a band on it. And then I said, since my favorite color is purple, we just need to get a purple one. And we did. And I started wearing it, and it just stuck. It was, purple is power and royalty. Mm-hmm. And that's my armor when I'm roping. That's my, you all have to mentally have something. Maybe everybody doesn't, but that was mine. And that was my unique calling card. And when I would go somewhere and have on a straw hat, people would be, where's your purple hat? Mm. Sometimes it's too hot, but honestly, like now when I go speak, I wear my purple hat because it's who I am and what I am. And to me, Capital Hatters and James Andre helped me get that started. And I'm so thankful we did. He's made me several of them. When I was inducted to the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame, I got a 100X one. And that's my dress-up one. I've worn it at a few rodeos, but I mainly wear it to dress up and speak to groups. And I love my purple hat. It evolved. It started, and I think the first time I wore it, Marty made fun of me, a purple hat. And then that was it.
It was your calling card.
It was it. It was stuck. And
so do you have multiple ones, did you say?
I do have multiple, because they kind of wore out and broke down and stuff, and
sure.
James, but this last one's pretty special to me because we made it for the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame induction, or he did. And I love my purple hat. It's just my calling card. It looks good, and it's just, to me, the power.
Yeah. This, my friends, is from Capital Hatters as well, the one I'm wearing. James Andre and his crew do a great job over there. Well, guess what? It is time for everybody's favorite game show, the one that's sweeping the nation.
Oh, yes. Great.
It is time for the 254. These are questions I'm going to ask of you.
Okay.
That are just fun.
Okay.
How about that? Okay. You can answer them as short or as long as you want. We usually have a time limit, but we don't stick to it. So this game has no real rules.
There you go.
There are no real points or anything that you can win. But JJ Hampton here is always a winner, so I'm sure that her answers will be as well. Okay. Number one, best gas station snack. Do you stop on your way to these rodeos? Do you ever stop and get some snacks somewhere, or do you already have something?
Well, sometimes we have some in there, but I would say my go-to stack is probably Cheetos. I love me some Cheetos and bean dip.
Oh.
So if
now, do you put those together?
Yeah, you dip the Cheeto in the bean dip. It's amazing, and you love it. I do always have the pretzels with the peanut butter inside.
Nice. Yes.
Some convenience stores carry them. If they don't, I've got to stop at somewhere and get them. But I keep those. It's either those or the Cheetos and bean dip.
Love it. All right. I haven't had Cheetos and bean dip.
Got to try it. My dad's favorite.
That was it. Okay. All right. That's kind of like, I guess, when people dip their fries in their Frosty kind of a deal, right?
I'm telling you, Cheetos and bean dip is the way to go. If you haven't tried it, you better go try it.
Well, if it helps me win a championship, I'm sure.
We'll do it. Yeah.
All right. More important to you, perfect arena dirt or no mechanical or trailer problems? Which one is better?
Mechanical or trailer problems. I'm a breakaway rover. We're not worried about the dirt.
Ah, good. Okay, that's an interesting thing. We'll have to talk a little bit more about that. All right. Number 3, outside of the profession, people, when we watch folks like you perform, we kind of have this image and this thought process. What's one thing people outside the profession don't understand about rodeo athletes?
That's a very interesting question. I don't think they understand all the time, like driving to the rodeos, all the sacrifices you make being at the rodeos, all the work that went into getting to the rodeos, and just think you show up and you rope a calf and you've done good. So I think the behind the scenes, mainly I think the driving to the rodeos and the all night drives and the stuff that it takes on the road for us to make it there, that they have no idea that goes on. Yeah. That's the tricky part.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that makes sense. So I mentioned earlier being a little starstruck. So, most people, when they see JJ Hampton, they are starstruck. Have you ever met someone that kind of, where you were in the other side of the deal, where you kind of were starstruck a little bit?
No, I'm pretty good about going and just talking to people, and no matter if they are stars or not, I don't mind introducing myself to them, and even if they don't know anything of rodeo, I feel like I have a presence, and I'm not scared to go talk to somebody. I may really respect somebody, but I don't know that. I'm trying to think if I've gone as many places I've gone and been starstruck. I got to meet Charles Barkley once at a ball game. He signed a ticket somewhere, but I didn't get to. I really didn't get to spend time talking to him. Yeah. So I'm not really the starstruck type.
Yeah.
That's not me. I'll go talk to anybody, not embarrassed, and don't care what they say to me. So I just go do it.
Good. I like that. All right. My final question in the 254, and you're going to repeat it after me and then answer it. All right. What I love about Stephenville is.
What I love about Stephenville is the people in this community, how welcoming they are, how kind they are, how open to rodeo people that they are, and just everybody in this town is just the way they back every event and every sport, not just rodeo. This is a great community of the best people in Texas, and I love the people of this community, and I love all they stand for, and I think that's what makes our community so special, is the people who are in it.
No question about that. We do have the best people on earth right here, and you're one of them, and I like the way that you have your attitude set in such a positive light. You're really trying to encourage others. It's not just about you. You're really trying to push others to be their best. That's a cool thing. You have some great wins, some great memories, I'm sure all across the country and beyond. Has there been anything, though, especially as a competitor, that stood out to you that was a bad memory, that maybe it gave you a little bit of a hook to want to do better, but was there a place or an event or something that you did that kind of gave you a bad feeling?
Well, there's a particular rodeo that I said I would never enter again. There were a few nice people, but some of the rodeo committees were very hateful and mean. And I said, well, you know what? I don't know what's happened or why you would. I'm nice no matter what. I don't care if they get mad at me or what. I'm going to do what they ask and try to be respectful. But yeah, I don't really want to call up. But I've had a rodeo like that, and I'll never end that rodeo again. Yeah. The people that worked there were very rude, and I did not like that. And I'm nice to everybody, and will do what you ask me, but I don't want to be talked down to or treated with disrespect, because I don't treat anybody with disrespect. If you're in the bathroom cleaning, I'm going to speak to you and say hello, and I don't care who you are, because I do, because you're important too, no matter what job you're doing there. So yeah, that does happen. That's rarely it's one, but I will never go back to this rodeo in Wyoming again.
I love it. Now, you mentioned that. Is there a place that you absolutely loved going, that every time it comes up throughout the course of the year, and a lot of them are annual events, but some have them throughout the year, that you say, I want to go to this one every single year? Was that?
Well, there was 3.
Okay.
Of course, I didn't rodeo last year, so there's Fort Worth, San Antonio, Love Houston, and I love Reno Rodeo. Those rodeos right there. Of course, I love the Steamboat Rodeo because I get to see all the people. But those 3 rodeos have the most welcoming people and are so nice. And like the year that I won Reno, all of those committee people before I roped in the short round wanted me to win that rodeo, and they were all rooting for me. And when you're out rodeoing by yourself with no family, they're all doing their own thing. To have people that cheer you on like that makes you feel like your family's with you and the people are behind you. And to me, that is the coolest part. You know what I mean? And I know it's probably just isn't me that they may feel that way. It's everybody, but they made me feel like special and that I was supposed to be there, and they wanted me there, and they wanted me to do good. And it is just, that was cool.
Yeah.
Those rodeos welcome you with open arms, and honestly, almost every one does. I could probably list a lot more, but those are the 3 that stand out to me because those people, they just hug. I hug all the people when I see them, and they run to me and hug me too, and it's just, it's really great. And I couldn't thank those people enough at Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, and Reno for the love that they showed me all the years that I got to go there.
Love that very much. For 25 years, in addition to rodeo, you've been a licensed realtor, and for 10 years, you've had your own company,
Yes.
JJ Hampton Realty.
Yes.
What lessons from rodeo do you think that you've had that kind of transitioned into your business ownership?
Well, I try to be kind to people, but work hard. So if, I'm probably the best at a deal that has a problem because I'm going to get it done. I don't take no for an answer, and I figure out a way to get what we need done. So God puts some deals on me. Sometimes my husband goes, "Why are you doing this?" And I go, "Well, if I didn't do it, who would help these people? Who would get this done for these people? Who would stay hooked and do this?" And so that's kind of my take on it. I give it all I've got, and if there's a problem, I'm going to rise to the occasion and figure out a way to help my customer get done what they need to get done, and I do it.
Yeah. Do you have a special? Is there something that you like to do more, like country type things or city things, or in terms of real estate deals? My dad's a realtor, and I noticed that over time he kind of transitioned. He liked development at some point. He liked this. He liked that. He liked commercial. Is there something that kind of stands out to you as your best time?
I'd like homes on acreage, of course.
Yeah.
I like helping people find a home and getting them in it and find a way. I love helping all my rodeo people who, when you rodeo, your taxes are a little different, and working with people to get them in homes, that's important to me. But I really don't care. I want to help whoever needs help. And people say, "I don't want to bother you. It's a $30,000 deal." I said, "I don't care if it's $30,000, $30 million. I'm going to do the same job regardless of the sales price that I would do." So any value of property doesn't matter to me. Of course, you make money on the big ones, you get it, but that's not all what it's about to me. It's about taking care of my customers and making their deal happen. And that's what's important to me.
That's nice. You mentioned Kaysen earlier. I guess he's 17 now.
17.
Wow. So his transition's coming into as he gets closer to graduation. Has he indicated his pathway?
I don't know. He's still roping calves. I loves that, but my son is really bright. He's good at talking in front of people. He has a servant's heart like his mama, and it is really impressive to watch him grow. I don't know I know he'll go to college. I don't know if he'll rodeo in college. He had finally grew this year, and he's been little, and so tying down calves, that's what he loves to do, was very hard for him because calves would kick his butt. And now we went to roping this weekend. I said, "Just go do this. You can do it." And he's gotten stronger, and it's just getting through his head that, hey, I got this, and that's part of the journey of roping and getting through this. I never thought I couldn't, so I always did. And even if I did get my butt kicked, I didn't care but he's wired a little different than me in that. And he went out there and flanked every calf but one and did great. So it's just about confidence and getting him through that. Because as far as mine goes, he's brilliant. I just don't know if he's going to stick to this path or not, but my thing is whatever my son loves to do, I'm going with him. I'm not rodeoing. I'm staying home giving lots of roping lessons because I want to be there for every event Kaysen does. When we go play basketball, whatever it is, I'm not missing a thing he does. He was very kind to me and let me go pro rodeo so that I knew what it was like, and sacrificed his mama's time with him for that. And now I don't call it sacrifice at all. I call giving my time to Kaysen, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, that's good, Mama.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. Well, your whole family has been a big part of your life. Grit, try, determination. These are good things. Something else you do with or have done with Kaysen is backpack buddies. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we were Sheila Williams, I don't know. We were talking about something in the car in case we were headed to Fort Worth, and we got to talking about backpack buddies and these kids not having food. And Kason says, "Mom, you mean kids don't have food to eat?" And I said, "No, sir." He goes, "Well, what can we do to help them?" I said, "Well, we can raise money. First, you start by donating your own money." So he donated his own money, and I said, "All right, I'll match it." And then we come up with the idea of having bake sales at my dad's roping. Well, first he did a Facebook campaign and just asking people for donations. And he raised $3,000, $3,500. And then we started having the bake sales. And then we did the NFR t-shirt sales. And every bit of the money that we make goes to Backpack Buddies. And he's raised over $70,000 for Backpack Buddies of Erath County. It is crazy.
That's great.
But for my kid to be 4 years old and want to help other kids, it's just, most people don't think of that. And he just keeps doing it, and we find ways to give to kids. And he saw kids at his school who took the backpacks, and he said, "Mom, we can't stop this. We have to keep doing this." I said, "Fine, let's keep doing it." And so every year we do a bake sale. All the girls bake, cakes, and everybody buys, and they're just a bigger part of it to help Case and raise money for Backpack Buddies as all of us. But I just thought the world and rodeo and everything has given us so much. I want to give back to help others be able to succeed. And you may ask him at the Johnny Wayne Hampton Memorials where we do the deal. We make no money off that. Every dollar we make goes to scholarships for Tarleton kids or high school seniors to help them further their education, because I think it's important for kids to get education. I think it's important for them to go to school. Whether they do anything with it or not, that may not happen, but they need to experience going and living by themselves, learning about college wherever they go, and it's important to us to help them. My dad always helped kids rope and do this, so I want to honor his legacy by giving scholarships and helping people. And I don't do it alone. My whole family helps, the girls who works for me. And then, as people pass away, family members, Larry D. Guy donated money in honor of Mary Guy, and we gave a scholarship in her name. And then my mom passed, so we give one in her name. And just honoring people's legacy who gave to other people is real important to me, because you got to know where you came from. But these people who get them need to know the people who are givers that give to them. And I can honestly say most people are so thankful for this money and the help that we provide to them.
I think it's fantastic. The Johnny Wayne Hampton Memorial Roping happens each year, right?
Each year.
An annual basis. That's a pretty significant addition to our community in terms of helping them. You said before, and I see this on your social media, which we're going to get to in just a moment, you say, be brave, be bold, and whatever you do, do it with all you've got. That's kind of encouraging there. Is that a real mantra, or that's more than just words to you?
Yeah, it is more than words to me. I say things sometimes. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" Because I have a loud voice and I don't mind speaking, and I'm not embarrassed by saying something or standing up for people. So I encourage people, you may not be brave or bold on the level that I am, but be bold on the level you are. And whatever you do, whether I pick up trash in front of the school, me and my son have done that since he was a little kid. I pick the trash up walking in the door. I can't stand trash. I mean, I do everything with everything I got. If I see it, I pick it up. I can't just walk by it. And that's who I am and my core values as a human being. And so I want people to remember that. And your level may not be my level, but give it all you got in whatever you do. And when you're done, you can feel pride. That's what I tell my son. His level of moving, I move fast. He don't move fast. But give on the level you can give with everything you got, no matter what it is. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm going to try to give it everything I have, and I'm not going to halfway anybody or anything, because it's not in me. It's not a core value of mine, and I want people to be encouraged to be brave and bold, because it's important.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you represent yourself well. You represent this community even better, probably, because you always put us in the limelight, and I love that. I love that Stephenville is always put in the spotlight. Now, well, you always look great. I mean, you just have this different look sometimes whenever you're out and about. People who might see you at the grocery store, might see you at the wherever, are going to see you looking different than the purple hat that we have up in the picture there. And you are sort of taking this to a new level as a bit of a social media influencer. Talk a little bit about this piece of your life now.
Yeah, well, I got a new social media manager, and we just started doing outfits of the day and saying stuff, because I love clothes, I love fashion. And we were just I didn't even know I was doing it, but I rebranded myself because people knew me as a cowgirl. They just saw me in the hat, the boots, the jeans, and had no idea I had fashion sense. I think they knew I had charisma, but not to the extent that I have it. And being able to encourage people through this and touching people's lives, because I get messages all the time, oh my God, JJ, I did not feel like getting up, and I could hear you, you can do this, you can do this. And they get up, and that means so much to me, to know I'm encouraging someone just to get out of bed, because some people have that trouble. You don't know who you're helping through doing this. So it has just grown. People send me clothes to model for them now, and it's so fun. Of course, I've lost a lot of weight. I'm fit. I work out 4 days a week, and it's just developed into something it's pretty cool. And I think it's going to continue to grow, because I've rebranded myself as fashion. I'm getting more real estate listings because of it, because people see me and they listen and they go, we just love your charm, your charisma, and how even if you mess up, you don't care. You just rock on, because we're so hard on ourselves. As human beings, when you're not exactly perfect, we all, somebody told me, I couldn't wear that outfit you did. I said, why can't you? You can wear the same outfit I'm wearing. Own it. And that's part of what it is. I just can own where I'm at, and I'm at a stage in my life. I never really cared if people made fun of me. I never really cared because I was overweight, and maybe it was my protection. But my outlet was rodeo and winning, and nobody could take that away from me. And so I'm just trying to use what I have as a platform of fashion and being who I am to encourage others to be better, and maybe somebody gets something good for it. So it has really changed my life of funness and people seeing me. And like, I go places and people go, I love your outfit. And my husband's like, what? They don't know I even do outfits of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm starting to get more and more people following it because they like your outfit. I said, I know, honey, I have a gift. Like, I can put things together, of different brands and stuff. And I'm smiling because I'm having a ball, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just having a ball.
That's great. So many people are defined by a certain aspect of their life. They're defined by their occupation, by something their family did, by whatever it is. You're kind of ever evolving, aren't you?
You have to. And, I've stepped into a different stage in my life where I'm not rodeoing. I'm giving roping lessons. I'm home with Kason. And this was also, I'm glad that you said that, because this is really the reason why. People were wondering where I was at, why I was not on TV. I said, okay, let's get back in front of them. Like, show them I'm still out here. I may not be in the arena, but I'm still the same human being that was waving at them in the crowd, encouraging them from where I was at. I'm going to get in front of them. And that's really... I apologize. I don't think of things, but that's why I did it, because people weren't seeing me in the rodeo arena, and I was getting message after message. Yeah, I'm not roping, but you're seeing me, and it's really not my roping you liked. I thought it's my smile and my connection with people that they liked, and so this is my way of carrying it on and still being in front of people and getting to encourage people through my voice.
Yeah, so many different ways to be a champion. And
so many.
I love that. I love that you are truly epitomizing. One of the reasons we started this whole podcast was because people would talk about the city of champions. And we would talk about how, yes, we've won this, or we've won that, or we did great in this, but other places could also say the same thing, maybe in a different way, but they could say, yes, they won state championships, or they won this, or they won that. And I think that you hit it whenever you answered the question earlier in the 254. It's about the people.
100% about the people.
That's what makes us a champion.
We have good people. And good people, you don't have to actually win, to me, to be a champion. We have champions all in this town that maybe they haven't won a world title, maybe they won a state title, but they are champions because of how they carry themselves, how they treat other human beings, how they are positive, how they pass that on to others. And you're right, it's the people of the city that make us the city of champions.
Yeah.
We get labeled it because of all the championships, but we have great winners. But you have great winners, give people behind you.
Yeah, I think that's so true. So you've done so many different things. Real estate has been a big part of your current life. Rodeo has been a big part of your life in general. The social media we've talked about, some of the philanthropy we've talked about. Do you have, or have you ever thought about what's next? What's JJ Hampton like in 10 years?
I don't know. I guess I'll figure out something else to keep giving my time to and encouraging others, because I believe in that. I've been on lots of boards around here, and I'm not on any right now for the fact that I'm not going to miss any occasion stuff. But I will continue to participate in things to make our city and make people better. I'm also I was the professional rodeo coach at Tarleton this year, so I show up 2 days a week to practices to help those girls, empower them to be better, and I so truly love that. I don't know where I will be. I'm sure I'll still be giving roping lessons. I may be roping again a little bit, but I'll be representing the city of Stephenville somewhere, somehow, and encouraging others while I'm doing it.
I love it. JJ Hampton, National Cowgirl Hall of Fame inductee, along with many other Hall of Fames. She is an 18-time world champion right here in this chair, right here on Connecting the Dots. JJ, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I truly enjoyed this, and hopefully we can do it again someday.
I know we will. That'll be awesome. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back with a monologue in just a moment. What a fun episode. You know, my dad used to tell me that to be a success, it's important to hang around successful people. The wisdom and practices these folks convey always seems to provide a sense of education you just can't get anywhere else. There's a certain, sometimes indescribable aura that envelops you and inspires you to make improvements in your own world. Of course, he also cautioned against being a groupie or a hanger-on. He said you'll never get fulfillment out of just being a part of someone else's circle. It's kind of like when a parent lives vicariously through their children and the success their kids are having in some sport or other activity. These people are easy to spot, and unfortunately, the rest of us see right through them. And this can distract from showcasing the very best version of ourselves. Well, today's guest, Hall of Famer JJ Hampton, is someone that has spent decades grinding through every challenge that comes her way, putting forth her best self, which has led to unprecedented success in the world of rodeo. As an 18-time world champion, JJ has demonstrated a true grit that has helped her sustain success rather than just experience it. She definitely mentioned various mentors and certainly is not shy about giving credit to the many people who have positively influenced her life, both in and out of the arena. But to take someone else's wisdom and apply it to your world is a special talent. So today, I thought we at Connecting the Dots would do something a little bit different. I want to take a portion of what JJ said in our conversation today and break it down for you. Well, truth be told, this was as much for me and my team as anything else, so maybe we'll all have a takeaway today. A lot of what our Cowgirl Hall of Fame inductee discussed today was based on 4 elements, with the first being her faith. She freely mentions how God has led her to certain decisions or has blessed her in so many ways. I know from experience it's not always easy to give praise to a higher power, and it can even be harder to give up some of that ego that is associated with a mass amount of success. Perhaps many of us go to God in darker times or when we can't figure things out on our own. To know successful people are unashamedly God-fearing is a lesson many of us can use in our own lives, as it seems to normalize an often difficult subject. Besides, does it really hurt to lean on our Savior, both in good times and in bad? Resilience was another tenet that JJ discussed. She has often talked about how some less than stellar performance or perhaps negative people have actually served to make her better, to build layers of toughness in a fight to overcome obstacles. How cool to turn lemons into lemonade. Miss Hampton hasn't won every event she's competed in. Yet she has been resilient through good times and bad, winning 25 titles, 18 world championships in 4 different disciplines, more than 30 years of not just being a part of something, but leading the way in all aspects of her career. What a remarkable accomplishment. The third lesson is to always have integrity. Few people display a more open and realistic persona than JJ Hampton. She's honest and real. She believes in people and inspires them. She treats those with less in the same manner she treats those at the top of the totem pole. If she says she'll do something, then she sticks to her word. All of these elements showcase her integrity and remind us that no matter what stage of life you're in, both personally and professionally, that your word is golden. It is something no one can take away from you. Talent may market you, but integrity defines you. Lastly, our champion talked about tenacity. Several times she mentioned how tenacious she is and has been throughout a variety of circumstances. If you followed along, you notice that there's a fire in her belly, one that she carried from her rodeo days to her coaching, to her parenting, to her philanthropy. JJ's tenacity has no doubt played a major role in her continued success. From her first rodeo at 4 years old, through her championships and into her real estate business, this Stephenville, Texas native has exhibited a never-give-up attitude for all the world to see and appreciate. So let's bring this all together in something we can remember. Having a strong faith in God, combined with a resilient attitude, overcoming any obstacle in your way, and peppered with a strong dose of integrity, topping it all off with tenaciousness that arms you with the fire to succeed. Yep, it all boils down to grit. Do you have it? JJ Hampton certainly does. She's a prime example of why Stephenville is considered the city of champions. And as I mentioned at the onset, observing what makes others people successful and what makes them tick and applying those elements into your own life just might bring out the very best version of you. Well, that's Connecting the Dots for today. Be sure and subscribe to wherever you listen or watch so you never miss an episode. Until next time, I'll see you at the rodeo.